Hi all, this is VU11sys and we are going to address how to monitor excessive online usage during the social isolation period related to COVID-19. My name is Vasilios Stavropoulos and I'm a clinical psychologist and a research fellow with the Institute of Health and Sports. A little information about VU11sys. It is a mental health and well-being promotion and prevention program that has been developed within Victoria University during the COVID-19 pandemic. Our goals for this session involve, first, to highlight distinctive features of excessive online behaviors, to monitor your involvement with risk applications for excessive internet usage, to monitor your relationship with the way you present yourself online, and to monitor your online experience. Starting from our first goal, to highlight the distinctive features of excessive online behaviors. A necessary clarification. The amount of time that one spends online defines whether he or she experiences addictive symptoms. This is what is commonly believed. However, it's incorrect. Although time is a necessary indication for addictive internet use, it is not a sufficient criterion to define it. The reason why one spends time online plays an important role. So in that context, we have adaptive internet use, which refers to a goal in reality, and maladaptive internet use, where a user aims to moderate the way they feel. This second category of users, those who aim to be online to moderate their feelings, either to feel better or to feel less bad, are called ritualistic users, while those who are using the internet to address a goal related to their real life, such as collecting data for their research or doing their work, are called instrumental users. The high-risk ones are the ritualistic ones. Flag behaviors. Every behavior that satisfies the following 6 points constitutes an addiction risk behavior. First, salience, which means a specific frequency of the behavior within a specific period of time. Once per day, twice per week, 3 times per week. Mood modification. As we said before, one is there to moderate the way they feel, either to feel better or to feel less bad. And usually with addictions, people start aiming to improve the way they feel, but they continue just to avoid feeling worse. Tolerance. Progressively higher dosage of the behavior is required for one to achieve the same outcome. Withdrawal symptoms. In the forms of behavioral addictions, withdrawal symptoms tend to be mostly psychological, such as irritability and frustration when one is not online, which is in contrast with other forms of addictions that involve substances, where things tend to be also biological. Conflicts and functional impairment. After the establishment of an addictive use of the internet behavior, conflicts with intimate others and people from one's immediate surrounding, family, co-workers, employers, colleagues, start rising. And finally, relapse. Despite one's decision to try to reduce or abstain from their excessive use of the internet, they find that this might not be feasible. So there is an inconsistency between the way they think and the way they decide, and the way they act and implement their decisions. Goal 2. To self-assess your involvement with high-risk areas or applications for excessive internet usage. High-risk applications, high-risk online applications involve cyber relationship applications, which include any form of interactive online application, such as blogs, social networking sites, chat rooms, person versus person online games. These are just some of the examples. Cybersexual applications, such as porn sites, or cybersexual interaction applications, such as the chat roulette, where users might be naked and very revealing. Compulsive internet use apps, such as online gambling applications and compulsive buying online behaviors, as well as information overload apps, which include behaviors such as cyber-loafing and cyber-slacking, where one might be consuming a lot of time in collecting, accessing useless information online. Now I would like you to think how many of these main categories, cyber relationship, cybersexual, compulsive internet usage, and information overload, apply in your case. Are you involved with? Keep the answer to yourself and be mindful that if more than 3 of those categories have been increasingly used during the COVID-19 social isolation period, there might be a risk. Goal 3. To monitor your relationship with the way you present yourself online. When we have an unhappy user offline, it is often likely that this user might be able to do online things that they are not allowed to do in their real life, such as being more aggressive or more sexually impulsive. So the first indication of a pathological connection, of a problematic connection between the user offline and their online presence, either in an online game or social networking sites, is what we call repression. One can do there things that they cannot do in their real lives. Progressively, the user might start experiencing the needs related to their online presence, such as posting on their social networking sites or participating in their preferred internet game, as needs that need to be prioritized to their real life needs, even if the latter include sleep or eating. And this is what we call immersion. So the online needs of a user get prioritized to their real life needs. Third, we have what we call identification. So the user offline starts identifying with the way they present themselves online. And finally, this online presentation of the user becomes idealized, reflects or tends to reflect the way the users would like to have been in their real lives, their ideal self. And that makes them happy. In that line, I would like to invite you to self-assess your relationship with the way you present yourself online. Idealization. You present yourself online the way you would like to have been on a scale of 1 to 10. Immersion. Your online needs are prioritized over your real life needs. Scale on 1 to 10. Identification. You often feel like that online persona, which is the way you tend to present yourself online, 1 to 10. And repression, your online persona can do things there that you are not willing or able, or you would not allow yourself to do in your real lives on a scale 1 to 10. Keep your responses for yourself. If your added points exceed 20, be mindful and reflective as a risk might occur. Goal 4. To monitor your online experience. And we'll start with the question, why is virtual reality that attractive? Each one of us is between two things, reality and fantasy. In reality, we cannot easily fantasize, so there is a fine line, a border between the two. In reality, though, we can create a bridge, a connection with our fantasy, And this is something that we may be able to achieve through using virtual means, virtual reality. How that happens? In reality, we are together with others, but unsatisfied. We may have wishes, thoughts that we would like to have been able to do, but we are not. In fantasy, we are without others, but we can live all our fantasies. In virtual reality, and this is why it functions as a bridge, one can be together with others and concurrently satisfied, living their dream. And there is also a continuum when it comes to virtual reality between fantasy and reality. How much one's online activity mixes these two elements, these two worlds, fantasy and reality. On a scale from 0 to 10, where 0, your virtual experience is completely related to your fantasy world, and 10, your virtual experience is completely related to your real world, a risk area constitutes the middle, exactly the middle, the mix between the two, the blend between the two. A little bit of fantasy and a little bit of reality. And it's a risk, it's an area ranging between 4 and 6. This may occur in internet games where one can have transactions with real money or real relationships, and at the same time represent themselves via virtual persona, or even social networking sites where an element of fantasy related distortion is embedded with the way one presents their profile. At this point, I would like to thank you for your patience and attendance of this presentation, and to wish that yourselves and your families will continue being healthy under these challenging circumstances.